And that's the three big verses right there, man. You
That's
think that'll help people out?
I think so too. I do think so. I do got one question for you just to kind of help tie this in even better, make more sense out of it. Why does Paul reference the Tower of Babel here and the dispersion of the people?
Well, in the overall context, he is talking about all the different gods that the Greeks have. And I'll make some videos on this in the future about the gods of the nations. And basically, when Paul, in verse 19, they bring him into the square where people discuss philosophy because they want to hear what he has to say. And so he's giving a talk to Athenians and other people that were there to hear the latest philosophy or teaching. This is what the ancient people did. They didn't watch basketball and stuff. So,
Now while Paul waited for them at Athens, his spirit was stirred in him when he saw the city wholly given to idolatry. Therefore disputed he in the synagogue with the Jews and with the devout persons, and in the market daily with them that met with him. Then certain philosophers of the Epicureans and of the Stoics encountered him, and some said,
What will this babbler say?
others some,
He seemeth to be a setter forth of strange gods.
because he preached unto them Jesus and the resurrection. And they took him and brought him unto Areopagus, saying,
May we know what this new doctrine whereof thou speakest is? For thou bringest certain strange things to our ears. We would know, therefore, what these things mean.
For all the Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else but either to tell or to hear some new thing.
so Paul's recognizes his audience, and it's people that believe in a lot of gods, and there's altars to all these gods. And so he decides to tell them where their gods came from, and that their gods aren't really gods. They're just angels, and they're not the true God. They're not the Most High.
Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said,
Ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious. For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with this inscription, To the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship, him declare I unto you. God, that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands, neither is worshipped with men's hands, as though he needed anything, seeing he giveth to all life and breath and all things, and hath made of one blood all nations of men for to dwell on all the face of the earth, and hath determined the times before appointed, and the bounds of their habitation, that they should seek the Lord, if haply they might feel after him, and find him, though he be not far from every one of us. For in him we live, and move, and have our being, as certain also of your own poets have said. For we are also his offspring. For as much then as we are the offspring of God, we ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold, or silver, or stone, graven by art and man's device. And the times of this ignorance God winked at, but now commandeth all men everywhere to repent, because he hath appointed a day in the which he will judge the world in righteousness by that man whom he hath ordained, whereof he hath given assurance unto all men, in that he hath raised him from the dead.
That makes a lot of sense, though. That's weird how they got these false gods, in a way, out of the angels and never recognize that they're just a part of the God.
Yeah, and the angels in their original duties over the nations were to help man worship the Most High. And you see Paul bring this out in verse 27. And when we get into Melchizedek, the particular angel of God. I don't know if angel's the right word. I say angel. Some people argue about how you shouldn't use that word. Anyway, but the Jews use that word, so I think it's okay to use it. And but the particular angel that was designated the best region. Since I'm talking about Acts 17, I should probably go to Deuteronomy 32 real quick.
Sounds good.
This will be something to include in the video. This helps explain Acts 17. In Deuteronomy 32:8, it says,
When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
according to the number of the children of Israel. Now that's what the Masoretic text reads. However, in the Septuagint, it says, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the angels of God. And what they are translating there, you have to remember the Septuagint's based on older manuscripts than the Masoretic text. And oftentimes, the true readings preserved in the Septuagint and not the Masoretic text. That turns out to be the case on a number of occasions. And when that happens, I'll mention it and probably put a few notes up on the screen from scholars just so people can see what I'm talking about. But this verse here, Deuteronomy 32:8, this is referring to the Tower of Babel. And when the Most High, that's the true God, and maybe I'll put an image up in the video that shows this divine council, the illustration of the divine council. But when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the sons of God. Something else that's important, not only is the correct reading preserved in the Septuagint, but we've also now found it in Deuteronomy scrolls, in the Dead Sea Scrolls. So I believe they've found a Deuteronomy 32 fragment that reads, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the sons of God. And that means a lot of things. That verifies the Jewish belief concerning this, and it verifies that the Septuagint has preserved the correct reading. And here's something else it does. It provides us with an additional use of sons of God, that phrase, the sons of God. We now have an additional use of it in the Pentateuch that shows us what the term means in Genesis 6. A lot of times when people debate on Genesis 6 and they say sons of God, that means the people of Eden. It doesn't mean angels,
Mm-hmm.
And people will try to go to Job, the book of Job, to show that sons of God means angels. Well, that's the book of Job, though. That's not the Pentateuch. Well, in Deuteronomy 32:8, that's the Pentateuch. You see the significance?
I do see what you're saying, yeah. Yeah.
So this is an additional Mosaic usage of this phrase. And this strengthens the angelic understanding of Genesis 6. I don't know if I'll include that in the video, but maybe I will. I don't know. But this Deuteronomy 32 is the background that Paul has in mind when he's speaking in Acts 17.
Sure.
But here's the thing. The Pentateuch has a practical application for us, though, in studying Joshua and Judges and some of this stuff, and even other parts of the Pentateuch, Numbers, when they're wandering around and meeting other people, you'll see them refer to other gods.
Molech, Chemosh, Baal, Baal Peor, Asherah, Baal Berith, Dagon, Milcom, and Ashtoreth, Baal Zebub, Kiyun, Nisroch, Bel and Nebo, Marduk, Tammuz, Adramelech and Anamelech, Tartak, and Nibhaz.
These are references to actual angelic beings at times. And once you realize that's going on in the interaction between the Israelites and these other nations, then you can start to understand what real spiritual warfare is in the Bible. And that is a stunning thing for people to think about. But again, Michael Heiser talks about this stuff. So some of these gods you hear about in the Old Testament, they're more real than people are giving them credit for. They think they're just entirely fictional, made up, or idols or something. There's more to it than that.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I never saw it that way. I would take the traditional view and just think they're false gods of other nations, and that's it.